First-time buyers in the Durham region, this one is for you. This market we're seeing right now is an easier one for many buyers that maybe thought home ownership might always be out of reach for them. A lot of people are starting to see that owning their own home might just be a possibility again. So if you're thinking about buying your first home here in the Durham region, you've probably already realized there's a lot of advice out there. But some of the most important stuff, no one is really talking about. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what it's really like to buy your first home here, from hidden costs to the emotional ups and downs, and give you the kind of insight I share with all of my first-time buyers so that you can feel confident and prepared. My name is Vilya Truelove. I'm a local Durham Region real estate agent, and I absolutely love helping people make their first move into home ownership. You can send me a text or an email, or you can book an appointment through my calendar link. Everything is in the description below. And we'll come up with a game plan to get you into a home. I also have a really great free guide that you can download at the link in my bio to get started that tells you everything that you need to know about buying a home. So first, let's talk budget. One of the biggest surprises for first-time buyers is realizing how much homes cost. Though you'll get a lot more for your money in Durham compared to Toronto, or if you go, say, just east or north of the city, it's still quite expensive. If you've been scrolling online and thinking, this is all I can get for my budget, you're not alone. I will say though, in this current market, buyers on a tighter budget can get more for their money than they've been able to in many years. So depending on where you're looking, townhomes and semis typically start in the 600,000s, and a smaller detached home can start around 700,000 and of course go up from there. There are also some great options for lower priced homes like condo townhomes or smaller detached houses in some areas of Oshawa or Clarington. These often come at a much more approachable price point, sometimes even the lower 400 to 500,000s, and they can still offer great layouts, multiple bedrooms, and even some outdoor space. This can be a really smart way to get into the market without stretching too far financially. Many are in great areas, close to transit schools and shopping, so you're really not compromising on lifestyle. And here's something I talk about with a lot of first-time buyers. Don't fall into the trap of waiting years to save for that perfect dream home. The longer you rent, the more you're paying someone else's investment. That ideal home may always feel just out of reach. Instead, get into the market with what works for you now. Even a smaller home can become a stepping stone, giving you equity, appreciation, and momentum toward the next move. The key is to start where you can and let your investment work for you. Your first home is rarely your forever home. It's your starting point. You can absolutely build equity and grow from there. The next most important thing to consider, what buying a home actually costs. I have a video that goes into a lot more detail about this, and it would be a really good one to watch next. So I'll link it at the end of this video. Most people know about the down payment, but there are a bunch of other costs that can sneak up on you if no one prepares you. You'll need to budget for land transfer tax, legal fees, home inspection, and things like title insurance. These are all one-time expenses that are due at closing, but they can add up. So let me give you a quick example. So let's say you're buying a $750,000 home in the Durham region. Here's what that might look like. Land transfer tax around $11,475. Now there is a first-time buyer rebate of up to $4,000 if you qualify. Legal fees and other legal expenses, typically $1,800 to $2,000. Home inspection, roughly $400 to $600. Title insurance, about $300 to $500. And there is the possibility of having to pay other adjustments. So as an example, if the seller has paid property taxes for the year and you move into the house in October, you'd have to pay them back for those 3 months. And that gets added on to your closing costs. So you won't have to pay the city again, it's covered for the year, but you would have that extra chunk of money to come up with on closing. So even with a first-time buyer rebate, you might be looking at $10,000 to $15,000 in closing costs on top of your down payment. It's not meant to scare you, it's just something that you want to be ready for. I do go through all of this with my clients early on so there aren't any surprises when you're about to close. It's all part of setting you up for a smooth and as stress-free as possible home buying experience. Another thing to consider carefully when you're purchasing is what it's going to cost you monthly to own the home. You don't want to just ask the bank what you qualify for and buy for the highest price that they'll approve you for. You want to look at your monthly budget very carefully and set an amount that you're comfortable paying monthly for a mortgage. And then you work backwards from there to come up with your purchase price. You'll also need to consider that you'll have property taxes, utilities, home insurance, and maintenance costs. It's usually worth it in the end to be able to have a home that you can really call your own, especially because you're probably paying a ridiculous amount in rent anyway. And this money would now be investing into your own property instead of somebody else's. But you don't want to go in blind and be caught off guard when it's time to start paying for things every month. Now, I want to go over a few common mistakes that I see all the time that can really trip people up, especially first-time buyers. So number one, not getting a mortgage pre-approval before you start house hunting. It's tempting to just browse and dream, but if you fall in love with something you can't afford or you aren't ready to buy, it can be really discouraging. And you want a full pre-approval, not just a pre-qualification. A pre-qualification is a rough estimate based on basic info that you put into an online calculator. It's a good starting point, but it's not solid. A full pre-approval, on the other hand, means a lender has looked at your credit, your income, your debt, everything, and said, yes, we're comfortable lending you this amount. I can't tell you how many times something has shown up on someone's credit that they didn't even know was there, or they thought that their part-time income could be used to help qualify for the mortgage, but it doesn't count because they just started that extra job a couple of months ago. The full pre-approval gives you time to deal with any of these issues up front. Being pre-approved also makes you a much stronger buyer when it's time to make an offer. I always recommend my clients get this done early so that we can move quickly when the right home comes along. Next mistake, trying to time the market perfectly. It's hard, if not impossible, to time the market. Ideally, you'll own your home for at least 3 to 7 years. Typically, we'll see ups and downs during that time, but usually you'll end up in a much better place, having built some equity and paid down your mortgage at the end of it. The best time to buy is when it's right for you, when you're ready financially, and when you're ready for the responsibility of home ownership. Another big mistake, skipping the home inspection. The home inspection will cost you $400 to $600 on average, but it's well worth the investment for most people. You want to use a qualified and insured inspector and take that time to really learn about your house. They can often catch things that we just can't see during a showing. Having your dad or uncle walk through the house with you can be a great idea, but you really want a qualified inspector to have a deep look at the house as well, so that you can have the best idea of what you're looking at when it comes to any issues. Last mistake, not having a consultation with your real estate agent. I know that the fun part of the process is looking at homes, but there's so much involved in buying a home, so many steps involved and things that need to happen for everything to run smoothly. And this leads into my next thought. One thing I hear from so many first-time buyers after they've purchased a home is, I had no idea how fast it would all move once we found the right house. It can feel like a whirlwind. One day you're just starting to browse, and the next day you're signing an offer. It's very exciting, but it can also be very emotional, even a little bit overwhelming. Buying a house is a big deal, and people can sometimes be surprised by just how emotional it can get. Being as prepared as possible can help eliminate some of this overwhelm. That's why I like to start all of my buyers with a consultation where we come up with a game plan and where I walk you through exactly what happens at showings, at the offer, and afterwards. This way you know exactly what's involved in the process from start to finish. Having someone in your corner who's been through it many times really matters. I'm here to walk you through every step, answer your questions, no matter how small, and make sure you feel confident, supported, and never pressured. If you're thinking about buying your first home, whether it's next month or next year, I'd love to help. I talk to first-time buyers all the time who just want a place to start, and that's exactly what I'm here for. You can reach me anytime by phone, text, or email. All of my contact info is below. We can chat about your goals, your budget, and what buying your first home in the Durham region could look like for you. No pressure, just real advice from someone who's helped a lot of people take this first step. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.